Next example is vector. Okay, one of the important classes of Java utility package. So here, the beauty of vector is we can use the vector elements as a string. Okay, so if you look at the vector is basically similar to an array objects, but it provides a number of operations that is not supported by arrays. Okay, and also most importantly, the programmer need not to know or declare the size of the vector at the time of its creations. The vector grows and shrink automatically as elements are added and removed. That means if you add the elements, automatically the vector size will be increased. If you remove the elements, then the vector size will be decreased. So let's go and see how it's work. Okay, so I go to the code vector example. Okay, then I run the code first and see the output. Then after that, I will explain to you. So since we already compile here, so I make clear first. Let me check the vector class is there or not. Vector example, yes, the class is there. So we can directly run Java vector example. Then we'll get the output from there. Okay, we got the output here, right? So let's see the code now. Okay. Enough to display. All right. So if you look at the code, of course, this is the example of Java utilities packages. So you need to import java.util.star. Then the class name is vector example. So you must have to follow exactly the same name of the class name as you create your file, vector example.java. And then we put the integer type variable n. Then you look at here, vector, the string type variables, objects of the vector. So each of the component we can use as string. Then we use the command object from the vector v.add elements. The function name is add element. So if you want to add elements, this is we call the vector elements. You look at their Aristotle. That means this is the name. So you can use as the name as the array elements. But if you consider the normal array, normally you cannot put the string as array elements. So it will take each of the element as maybe character or maybe digit. All right, so I think you understand what is the difference between the vector and the normal array. Okay, now we add the second element, we add the third element, we add the fourth element, and we add the fifth elements. Okay, now there is a function we call the size. So what is size function is doing? It will calculate how many elements we have into the vector. That means size of the vector. So we have how many elements? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that means the size will be 5. So v.size, the value will create here 5 and assign to n. So n will get the value 5. Then we can display system.out.println total number of elements. So it goes to the next line, display total number of elements equal to 5. Okay, now we want to display this one. How to display? We can use the while loop or for loop. Then we use the for loop here. For I equal to integer I equal to 0, I less than the n is 5, less than 5, I plus plus. Then after that you have to display this output. So we can use one of the functions we call element at. Okay, so that means we want to display each of the element which location. First location of the vector elements is Aristotle. Then the second location, third location, fourth location, and the fifth locations. Okay, so 0 location, 1 location, 2 location, 3 location, and 4. That means in the array 0 to 4. Okay, so it will display one after another. Element at v object dot element at, then I take the value from here. I equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So display the output here. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how the elements can be increase, it will show you automatically. For example, here I'm going to add one more. Okay, add elements one more. Okay, add elements, one more elements I want to add, so I copy this one. Then again, we add elements. For example, we can put any name we can put. For example, we can put for example, John. Okay, so now we have to save this one. Then we need to again compile. We need to compile this one. So I just clear first this one. Java C. I want to compile all together. Start.java. Then see the file vector example class is created. So write the command Java vector example. Correct? Okay, now you see number of elements already 6. Okay, if you look at the number of elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now if you want to delete the elements, reduce the elements, then it automatically can also count. I delete these two. Okay, again, save. Then again we compile this one here first. Java C start.java Java. Okay, it compiles this one. Now we want to see the file vector example Java vector example. Okay, so it's supposed to be number of elements is 4. If you look at the code, how many elements we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means this automatically, once the vector elements is increased, it can give you the how many elements is there. Okay, so if you decrease, then also it will give you the current number of elements in the vector. Okay, I hope you understand this one, how we can use the vector and how we can see these elements added automatically increase the number of elements. If element deleted, automatically it will decrease the number of elements from the